What's going on, guys? Will here, back again with another video. We're back. Hopefully this is a weekly upload because I'm recording this the same time as I did the video last week, so that's why I'm in the same attire. But yeah, welcome back to another video. Today we've got something slightly different, and as you can tell by the title, it said hints and tips video on how to get your insurance cheaper. Now, how do I know this? I've worked in the insurance industry for the past 3 years. I've done some sort of frontline roles, coaching roles, and now I'm in an underwriting role. So hopefully this video is quite informative on the elements which contribute to your premium being higher, as well as giving you a few hints and tips on how to lower that premium for people that are unsure. So some of the stuff in this video may seem fairly obvious, but there are a few key hints and tips in there which I for sure know that you don't know about. Here are my top 10 hints and tips on how to lower your insurance premium. If you do enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button down below. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying my content and other people may enjoy this video as well. Also, to stay tuned for future uploads, please remember to hit that subscribe button. We're so close to our 1,000 subscriber goal. Let's try and hit it. Come on, I'm trying to do it within the next sort of month and a half, so I think the goal is by the end of May, so please, I'd appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a comment on your hints and tips with stuff that you've found that lowers the insurance premiums as well down below. I know with a lot of the sort of money supermarkets and Go Compares, there's a lot of hints and tips that I may not even know about that sort of gets those premiums down on those websites as well. Let me know in the comments below, I'm interested to know. Cool, so the first one, we're gonna start off with a little bit of a juicy one because sometimes this will make no impact at all on your premium, and sometimes it does. And working in sort of insurance, I still don't understand why this would have an impact. So again, let me know down below if you know why. But for some reason, if you clear your search history, or you're using a VPN of some kind at the time of viewing a policy, so all your details are exactly the same, for some reason on some websites it differs. So, you know, if you've got loads of search history, you know, it's one price, you clear it and it goes down by sort of 20-30 quid. I have no clue why it does it, but there are certain websites which it does. Now, depending on the quote, because a quote is on an individual basis, I can't give you like the specific websites where this works, but it has worked for me in the past. So that is probably my tip number one at the moment, just to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but if it does, you could save yourself a little bit of money. So yeah, clear browser history, use an incognito page or use a VPN, see if it makes a difference. Has worked in the past. The second tip is a fairly obvious one, and it's named drivers. Now, a lot of my friends and stuff didn't go with the named drivers when they first took out their policies, so that it was just them. The whole policy premium was just them. But what if you've got other people that may want to drive your car that would usually just drive it as a third party? You know, say your mum takes your car out once in a while. For me, my uncle's a mechanic, he does my services and stuff on my car when I'm not doing it for the channel. He does the MOT for me and everything. So for me, it made sense to put him as a named driver on the car because he drives the car, and also it brings the premium down because I'm not the only driver on that policy. So for me, I like to say 1, 2 if you can will bring your insurance down dramatically. I think a couple of years ago I tried doing a quote on my Audi with no named drivers, was around 1,600. Put 1 or 2 named drivers on it and it lowers it by a couple of £100. So that's probably the biggest difference in premium if you've got those named drivers on there, and it can really lower your policy dramatically. So definitely, if you've got the option, take it. The third one is another quite obvious one, and that's your add-ons and your voluntary excess. So always look at what add-ons you're putting on the comparison sites and on the websites where you're getting your quotes from. A lot of the time there'll be loads of add-ons included which are sort of like extra £50 a year, extra £20 a year, and they don't sound like a lot. Once you've added sort of 10 on there, you know, it brings it up dramatically. So for me, breakdown cover, I get that through my bank, so I don't need to add that onto a policy, so therefore I can save myself sort of 40-50 quid each year just by sort of deselecting or removing the breakdown cover element from the policy. So that's also one to consider. You know, are there other options available that are cheaper, or are there other options for like your bank, for example, where you already get that benefit so you wouldn't need to pay for it. So another good one to keep in mind. The fourth one I'm gonna go for is mileage. So this is so important, right? So this will be the amount of miles you are covered for on your policy, or the amount of estimated miles. I see a lot of people that will just go for like a ballpark number. They'll just go, yeah, probably about this. So for instance, I know, probably around 10,000 a year. Honestly, do the maths before you type in the mileage, because for me, it's something I didn't do until I got into sort of like the underwriting element and sort of the coach element, and sort of thinking, okay, how would this affect my premium? So what I did was I was like, okay, let me work out on average how many miles I do per week. I mean, this year, I've been able to lower it quite a lot because I'm working from home, so I haven't got those sort of 3-4 miles to work and back every day. So I've dropped that out of the question. How much would I do on the weekend? Add that up for a week. Okay, this is how much I would usually do on an average week. Then times that by 52 for the 52 weeks in the year. That's going to give you your mileage. I guarantee most of you will be overestimating how many miles you do, because I thought, yeah, probably do about 10,000 a year. Turns out I do at the minute around sort of 5,000 to 6,000 a year, which is nearly half. So I gave myself a little leeway. I said, okay, things are going to start opening up soon. I put down 7,000 and it dropped it by about 100 quid, 150 quid. So yeah, definitely one to consider. How many mileage you're doing. There's websites out there where you can do a mileage calculator if you're unsure, or just simply do the amount of miles you do in a week times that by 52, and that'll tell you how many miles you would do across the year. So yeah, definitely one to consider. Number 5. So number 5 is an interesting one, which a lot of you might not know affects the price of your premium. So the value of your car. So it sounds fairly obvious when you say it, but if your car is more expensive, chances are your insurance is going to be more expensive. So always look for the market value of your car. So if you've bought your car for £12,000, and you say, oh, my car's worth £12,000, but the car's depreciated, then you might want to look at, okay, my estimated value of my car has gone down now, so I need to sort of adjust that to what your car is worth. So the counter argument that people have to this is, but I bought the car for that amount, surely if I put it's worth 12,000 and I bought it for 12,000, that if I crash they'll give me the 12,000 back. That's not always the case. So when you have a crash, a lot of companies will look for what your car's worth at that point in time, because they know it will have depreciated. And there's also a tip, which I'll probably do in a separate video around Auto Trader, and sort of finding cars worth a little bit more to be able to boost up like how much you get back, from my personal experience. However, it's always something to keep in mind. You don't want to needlessly put your premium up when, if something was to happen, touch wood it doesn't, they're just going to say, well, your car's depreciated anyway. So always keep an eye on the market value and drop that as and when accordingly. Or if you've got like a classic car or something, put it up, you know it's going to go up in value. So yeah, another one to keep in mind. We're at that midway point in the video, and we're about to get in some juicy top tips for reducing your insurance premium. If you are enjoying the video, please remember to hit that like button, comment down below which one is your favorite so far, and hit that subscribe button to stay around for future uploads. We're going to be doing more content like this, as well as some more modifications to the car and everything like that. So that's all good. Let's carry on with the count. So number 6 is something that is not commonly known. So if we're talking about modifications, we think instantly, if I add a modification to my premium, the premium's gonna go up. Not always the case. There are some modifications out there which will actually lower your premium. An example of this, or 2 examples of this, which I can give you, which they might not lower it. I've had instances where I've done a quote which hasn't had effect at all, but I've also used it on my current policy to lower it. So the first one, locking wheel nuts. If you have locking wheel nuts, or you've put locking wheel nuts on your car so they're more harder for thieves to steal your alloys or your tyres, that could potentially drop your insurance premium. The other obvious one is the dash cam. So if you've got a front and a rear dash cam, tell your insurance you've got a front and a rear dash cam. If you've got a front dash cam, tell them you've got a front dash cam. One of my policies, I won't name the company, a couple of years ago, reduced my premium by about £60 just because I had a front dash cam. And like you say, every little helps when it comes to insurance premiums. We know that they can be astronomically high. So yeah, every little helps. If you've got a dash cam, put a dash cam on your policy as a modification. If you've got lock and wheel nuts, put them as a modification on your policy. Could save yourself a little bit of money. Number 7, so this one is quite key as well, and that's the date and time you've purchased your policy. Always buy in advance. If you're buying a policy for tomorrow, your need for a policy is here and now. You haven't got time to look around. So chances are the company's going to quote you higher because they know the need is there. So it's about the supply and demand. The demand is there, so they're going to charge you a higher price. On the flip side of that, if you know everything spot on about your policy and you know when your end date is, you know all the details, buy 30 days in advance. They let you buy up to like 30 days in advance or 28 days in advance in some companies. Because the demand, you have that 28 days to look around and find a cheaper quote. Chances are they're going to offer you a cheaper quote so that you go with them. If you can buy in advance, buy in advance, do it. It saves you money and it's a little tip to reduce that premium a little bit more. Number 8, where you keep your car affects your policy. So a lot of people will assume if I say my car's in a locked garage, it's going to bring the policy down. False information. So a lot of the time, the cheapest way or cheapest place to keep your car is on a driveway, because when we think of a driveway, we could think, okay, it's just a driveway in front of a house, a normal house. A driveway could also be on a locked, fenced property on their drive. So a lot of the time, driveway is the cheapest option. Obviously, you want to try and be as truthful as you can with your insurance because you don't want to be committing any kind of like fraud or anything. But if you keep your car on the driveway most of the time, say you keep it on a driveway, reduce the premium. Number 9, so I'm going to do a combination of stuff for this because all of it affects the premium. Your postcode, whether you're a homeowner, whether you have children, all affects the premium cost. So the postcode is mainly around like crime rates and stuff. So if you're in an area where loads of cars get stolen, then chances are your premium's going to be more because you're more likely to claim. If you're in a very quiet neighbourhood where there's not a lot of crime, chances are your premium's going to be lower. So it's always something that will change your insurance and you can't really do much about it, but it's just a bit of an informative tip. Again, homeowner as well. If you're a homeowner, tell your insurance, because a lot of the time insurance companies will see homeowners as more reliable with money and more sort of mature, I guess, so their premiums are lower. I don't really understand why it makes it lower, but it does. So yeah, if you're a homeowner, be sure to put that down on sort of your quote and chances are it will reduce the premium slightly. Same with children. For some reason, if you have children, you're more likely to get a cheaper premium. Number 10. So number 10 is another one which does affect your policy and it's just a bit of a guide to you guys. So obviously you can't lie about what job you do because that's fraud. However, your job title does affect your policy. So be really careful of looking around and find the job title that fits your job the most. A little bit of a story about me. When I first joined insurance, I didn't really know that there was multiple options for insurance. So I just typed in insurance. And it just come up with insurance consultant. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was the only real one that came up. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, that one. Doing further research into it, the job I was doing wasn't more of a frontline job. It was more of like a technical advisor. And when I saw the technical advisor, I instantly thought like someone that helps with like your IT issues and stuff. So I thought, no, it's not that one. But thinking about it, a technical advisor is someone that just advises on a specific topic, which I did. So I then changed my job title to that and it reduced the premium. So what I will say is always look around for the specific job title that you do, because it could reduce your premium and then you're not needlessly paying out more than what you need to. It's always one to keep in mind as well. Just remember that everything you tell your insurance company has to be 100% true, just on the basis that if they don't, they can accuse you of committing like fraud and stuff, especially if you're lying about like your job title and things like that, like where you live and things like that. So yeah, be sure to be as honest as possible, but just some hints and tips on stuff that do affect your policy and how to reduce that premium where you can. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button down below. Also comment as well your thoughts on this type of content. Do you want to see more? Let me know. Also hit that subscribe button to stick around. We're going to be trying to go for those weekly uploads. And yeah, before I go, be sure to click the video on the banner above or click one of the videos along the side here and support the channel a little bit more. See you guys next week. Peace.